Now I'd like to introduce one of my former staffers. He's now done himself very well, and that's Jeremy Harrell.
Thank you, Chairman Gosar, Vice Chairman Collins, and other members of the Arizona delegation. It's great to be back here in Arizona, and I appreciate the opportunity to testify today on American mineral independence. Our nation's energy demands are rapidly increasing, and our current dependence poses a significant risk to our national security and our economic growth. According to some estimates, the U.S. needs to double our power system in the coming decades to meet expected energy demand. Concurrently, the International Energy Agency predicts that global demand for energy-related minerals like lithium, cobalt, graphite, and nickel could grow to 20 to 40 times by 2040. As demand for critical minerals increases, the choice for American policymakers is clear. We will either responsibly develop these resources here at home or continue to rely on foreign sources, which pose national security, human rights, and environmental complications. It's difficult to overstate our dependence on foreign supply chains. The U.S. is 100% reliant for 12 of 50 critical minerals, and we're more than 50% reliant for an additional 31. As the chairman underscored, China is the leading producer of 30 of those resources, and equally as concerning, China exerts control over the refining process for each of these minerals, regardless of where they are mined. Here in the copper state, we should not forget that copper plays a fundamental role in the construction of energy technologies like battery storage, solar, transmission, and vehicles. Failure to scale up domestic production of minerals undercuts our ability to compete globally. Regulatory approvals for mines here at home have fallen to the lowest level in decades, coinciding with substantial demand growth for products that require them for raw materials, like grid and transportation technologies. To fix this urgent problem, policymakers should work towards three key objectives. 1, restoring predictability to the permitting process. 2, streamlining judicial review. And 3, fostering trade and collaboration with allies. First, restoring regulatory predictability is essential. Never has the phrase time is money been more appropriate. Regulatory delays greatly increase the cost of projects, and furthermore, the projects most likely to be held up in the permitting purgatory are those that offer the greatest benefits to our nation. Reform should change the paradigm to one that expedites the approval process for projects that bring net benefits and comply with laws meant to ensure clean water and clean air. We must eliminate unnecessary bureaucracy in areas where the economic and environmental benefits outweigh opportunity costs. A place-based approach, which pre-assesses areas based on national needs, environmental factors, and community support, would alleviate permitting bottlenecks while also ensuring compliance once a project's operational. Federal action can also no longer vacillate according to political whims. Developers must be able to rely on decisions from one administration to the next. And we've seen this in mining, like the Resolution Copper Mine here in Arizona or the Twin Metals project in Minnesota. The administration's inconsistent approach increases U.S. reliance on minerals sourced from overseas. Instead, our system must create jobs here, promote American innovation, and foster better global environmental outcomes everywhere. Second, the judicial reform process must be reformed. The current system is broken as the structures in place are overwhelmingly tilted toward those who seek to delay or block projects as opposed to those who seek to build. Once a project is approved, further legal challenges should be addressed expeditiously. H.R. 1, the House permitting bill, requires legal disputes to be resolved in less than 1 year. Other major House and Senate permitting proposals include injunctive relief, clarifications on standing, and deadlines on the statute of limitations. Judicial review is the biggest wild card in the current permitting system. Congress should limit legal challenges to plain and obvious errors related to natural resources laws, while also narrowing the scope and adhering to strict review timelines. And lastly, realistically, we're not going to end our reliance on foreign resources overnight. There's an opportunity to expand bilateral and multilateral trade agreements with allies that secure critical mineral supply chains. Take the nuclear fuel supply chain, for example. At the April G7 meeting, Canada, the UK, France, Japan, and the United States agreed to reduce reliance on Russian nuclear products and jointly leverage their nuclear sectors to ensure a stable supply of fuel for both existing and future nuclear power plants. However, these agreements must be in addition to, not a substitute for maximizing domestic production. In conclusion, reliance on foreign mineral supply chains threatens both our national security and economic future. It is imperative that Congress implement a national strategy to maximize private sector investments in our critical mineral supply chains. ClearPath looks forward to working with this committee to further American mineral independence, and I look forward to today's discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Harrell.